I'm going to be sharing day one of Spellbinders Crafty Advent Calendar, and we're going to create a really easy interactive card. Hey everyone, it's Joy here, and welcome to my channel. It is that time of year for Spellbinders Crafty Advent Calendar, and today is day one. So let's pop this open. When you open this, you are either going to have, I think you'll have a die, a stamp, embossing folder, or a stencil. Don't hold me to the embossing folder, but I know before they've had those. I have not been through the whole Advent calendar, so I'm not 100% for sure on that, but you're always going to get something amazing. And on the back of the door is an image of what the die or stamp or whatever is. So that kind of helps you be able to put it together. We have this cute puppy that's going to be laying on its back. So for my background, I am using Honeybee Stamps 3D folder. This is paw prints, which is perfect for this card. And then I'm using some oval dies from Spellbinders. We're going to use 2 different sizes of those. And we're going to create this really simple card, but we're going to make it a little bit interactive, okay? Because it's so fun. So I'm taking an oval die and die cutting from scrapbook.com's Festive Duo paper. So the blues, the reds are and the purple is coming from that, and then the browns for the puppy dog is coming from scrapbook.com's neutrals pattern paper. Let's put together our puppy. Again, he's laying on his back. His ears are out. His tongue is hanging down. Like, it is really, really cute. And when I opened this, I thought this would be fun to create a fun, easy, interactive card. So I am going to be using Pear Blossom Press Snap and Slide little pieces to create this puppy dog that is kind of moving around, rolling around on his back, wiggling around, because my dog, I have a Frenchie, and he loves to lay on his back, and he kind of wiggles around, and it's so funny. So it kind of just made me think of that. So he's got little feet. I don't think the die requires you to cut the feet for his back legs, but I did anyways. Then he has some spots, his nose, a tongue, a piece for his tail. Really super simple and cute. And then it has a sentiment that says, I woof you. And I die cut that 3 times from red cardstock from the Festive Duos paper pad from scrapbook.com, along with everything but the white. The white is scrapbook.com's mixed media cardstock. So here are these tiny little spots that I'm going to put on our darling little puppy here. And I'm just using my Pick Pro tool and some liquid glue to get that in place, and he is cute. So one of the things is, on this oval, I have to decide, is my puppy and the sentiment going to fit when my puppy dog spins around? And it did. So make sure your background piece, if you do something like this, is big enough for your sentiment, for your puppy to spin around without bumping into your sentiment, if you want him to go all the way around. So this just barely did it, which was perfect. These are going to be pretty quick videos, probably around 8 minutes or so for the most part. I think they're going to be pretty simple, just to kind of share what this little die is. At the time of filming, I believe that there are still some Advent calendars available. I will have them listed and linked for you guys below. So even if you don't have one, if you want to, grab it, because these are not holiday based products. You can use this all throughout the year. So definitely, if you're thinking about it, grab it, because it really is a lot of fun. So I'm holding my puppy dog in place, just kind of spinning him around to make sure that it'll fit with my sentiments. And I glued all of my sentiments together, because remember I said I die cut 3 of them. That's going to give you a nice chunky sentiment, which is really cute. Then I marked a little spot, and I have a really like a 1/16 hole punch, and I need to make it bigger. So probably about 1/4 of an inch, I think, is what you need. Or a small little circle die that's about that. So I just kind of hole punched a few times, so my hole's pretty ugly, but it works, so it doesn't really matter. So you're going to put one piece in, you're going to snap the other piece of the snap and slide die on, or it's not a die, snap and slide piece. Now it just spins. It's so simple. You literally snap it together like a button through that hole that we made in our cardstock. Then on the back side, you're going to want to use some foam adhesive. I did 3mm plus 2mm to give it enough height so that way my little spinner can spin in a circle. I don't want it to get stuck and not move around. So I'll just layer on another piece of foam adhesive behind that. I put it on my background and I was like, I don't love this. I needed to die cut a larger oval, so I'm going to do that. But first I'm going to add some tape runner and liquid glue to the top of our snap and slide, and then add our head of our puppy dog to that. How cute is he? Okay, so here is the larger piece. The Festive Duos have 2 different colors on each piece of paper, so it has a light blue and a dark blue, or a light pink, a dark pink. So I die cut a darker blue. I'm going to layer that piece with the foam adhesive on it, and look at our puppy dog. Look at how cute he is, and he just spins around, you guys. This is so simple and so easy, but really fun. Now, I totally forgot that I wanted to add some detail to that blue background. So we're going to do that here in a minute, because I didn't realize it till I adhered the dog and the sentiment. Now, the letter I am going to adhere all 3 of those together on the cardstock, because to me it was just a little bit easier. But I'm trying to figure out how I want my sentiment, and I don't like it like this. So I'm just going to do it kind of straight. I'll add my eye there, and then I'll just layer them all together. I felt like that was easier because it's such a tiny little piece. So, and I'm not sure why I was trying to add glue on it this way, but you have to use some reverse tweezers or tiny fingers. So let me add that. I'm going to put that down. Then I can use my Pick Pro tool, because then I will add some more adhesive on top of that letter I, and just add the other 2 right on top of that. But let me get the woof and U in place. You could use a different sentiment on this and use the word woof as like that's what the dog is. He's woofing, you know, he's barking. You could use that too with a completely different sentiment, and that would be really cute. Okay, so now that I have those down, I adhered the other 2 eyes onto that. I didn't need to show that. Now I'm bringing in a stencil. This is Honeybee Stamps Scattered Hearts stencil, and I am using Stormy Sky Distress Oxide ink, and I'm just going around the dog and the sentiment, and it worked because I totally forgot to do it beforehand because I was kind of excited about the dog and all that. Then I'm going to finish it off with some white gel pen highlights. And look at how he spins. Oh my gosh, he's so cute. Very fun and interactive. I love how this card turned out on day 1 of Spellbinders Crafty Advent Calendar. Thank you guys so much for joining me, and I'll be back soon with another video. Bye.